Hey, folks, how are we doing? I'm Petty. Y'all see the title? Another quick video. Gonna be heavily edited so y'all don't have to worry about watching me scan through everything. Now, let me go ahead and say this like I always do. I have no dealings with Amazon. I'm not like one of those guys. I wish I was, where I can put the links to stuff on Amazon or whoever the heck, and I get it don't cost you any more, but I get a couple of get to shave a couple of nickels off of it. But alas, I'm not. Maybe that's something I should look into, but so far I haven't done it. This isn't an Amazon thing. I mean, if I was you, if I was going to looking to build this budget editing rig, and now again, this is an editing rig. This is not a gamer's rig. Can somebody probably play certain titles on it? I'm quite sure. But this is more concentrated towards the people that make their own videos at want to start editing their own stuff where they can put in stuff. They're using OBS or green screen and then editing the video to stop to put in other stuff, blah 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 blah. There's nothing wrong with learning how to edit and doing your own stuff, but don't think that this is a Amazon only thing, because it's not. Hell, I got a build that I done for somebody. I put the card. This was during when the silicon shortage, and you couldn't get graphics cards. Next, they were super overpriced due to the Bitcoin scalpers, but now with proof of stake out here now, that's a thing of the past. But for some odd reason, the price of the cards really ain't came down much. Some of them, I see some of them selling cards on eBay, and somebody selling a 3080, a 3090, a 3080 Ti more than what you can buy a 4080 or something for. And I'm like, that makes no sense. But anyway, I'm not getting into that. I know some people feel certain ways about certain people. I'm not getting into that, because when I'm looking, I look on eBay new. I don't buy used graphics cards. I bought used CPUs before. The last one I got burnt on it because 2 of the pins was bent, and I watched J2Cents video on how to fix and bend it back. I got them bent back, but the guy that I done the machine for, I let him know, because I'm one of them Honest John guys, and I told him about it, and he said, "Do it work?" I said, "Well, yeah, I'll take it." Okay, and he had the computer now for, like, I think I gave it to him a couple of days before Thanksgiving when I delivered it to him. I had to. He lived in San Marcos, Texas, and I ain't heard nothing bad, so I guess everything's okay. But eBay, B&H, Best Buy, Walmart, Newegg, Amazon, and if you're lucky enough to have a Micro Center near you, Micro Center. There's a Micro Center in Houston. From here, man, if Micro Center ever decides to deliver like Amazon or anybody else do, man, that'll be a whole different ball game. I'm all in for it. But anyway, let's go. Let me go ahead. Like I say, I just use Amazon because it's easy to navigate, and you pretty much get to see if it's something coming from Amazon or one of their partner companies or whatever, I guess, for lack of better words. Now, let me say this too. A couple of things right up front. For video editing, avoid the F series, the Intel F series. I'm gonna do an AMD one coming up here soon, but you see the the model number, like on Intel, like in our case, the one I'm looking for, this one here, Intel i5 12400. Okay. And you'll see 12, if it has an F on the end, that means it don't have onboard graphics, and you don't need it, but it helps a lot in pre and post and rendering videos if you're using this machine as an editing rig. Okay, so now gamers, I know, yeah, they use them because they don't need it. They're not doing videos. They're not, they're gaming, whatnot. And the F series are a little cheaper because you don't have those the graphics, onboard graphics on there, increasing the price of the card. And also now with the 13th generation Intel processors out, for the most part, the only difference between the 12 gen and 13 gen, because they go on the same boards, is the 12 gen has half as many efficiency cores as the 13 gen. Like I say, that's gamers, overclockers, stuff like that. That's a big deal. Video editing, not so much. And the same thing with the boards, because the boards we're looking at, gonna look at here is a B660M, and not the Z series boards. Again, Z series boards, big powerful VRMs, the cooling of it and all these extra deals, features pretty much not needed for anyone doing video editing. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring our screen up so we can chop through this. And the first item on my list, I'm gonna go ahead and remove myself because we don't need me anymore. Well, we need me, but we don't need me. Okay. Wait a minute. What is wrong with me? You gotta fade that transition, son. What are you doing? Let's do that again. There we go. Now, that's much better. Much better. So anyway, here we go. For what you get with this board, and like I say, the price of silicone, it ain't moving a whole bunch. I mean, I thought it would move more than what it is, but it just is what it is. But anyway, you see what we got here. The MSI Pro B660A DDR4 motherboard. It's an ATX board. It's not a mini. It has four memory slots, not two. And you can see you have a M.2 slot here with a heat sink. You got, what is this, PCI 4 or PCI 5? I think it's PCI 5. Let's see. Yep, PCI 5.0. Yep, fast slots, fast. More than likely, this is going to be, and you see it's reinforced for your graphics card. You got the extra metal around it. It helps combat that, your card sagging on you. And you have a second second M.2 slot there, just without a heat sink. You just have to get a heat sink. And like I say, heat sinks, you can get a heat sink for $10 right here on Amazon, eBay, Best Buy. It don't matter. The heat sinks are relatively cheap. But we say 12 gen Intel DDR4, which we're gonna get. Extended heat sink, 2.5 gigahertz LAN. So you got a faster network internet data port than the normal 1.0. Normally, some of the bargain boards come with a 1 gigahertz. This one's 2.5 gig. Okay. And that board is $149.99. So let's go ahead and jot that down. And here's the killer part. This board has went up $10 since I first done this list. I made my choices a couple of days ago, but I didn't have time to record this video. So I'm doing it now, and it's actually $10 more than it was a few days ago. So but that's the nature of this business. If you're in it, you already know. Okay, now let's go ahead and get our CPU, which is the Intel Core i5 12400 desktop processor. We go to it's a Gen 12. So it'll work on the B boards as well as the Z board. But I'm not picking a Z board because we're not doing any overclocking and any of that type of stuff, because this isn't a gaming rig. This is for video editing. Like I said, can you game with it? Quite sure you could. Certain titles, I'm quite sure you get away with it, but that's not our concern. That's not my target. So now let's go ahead and move to our next item, which is the Kingston NV2 NVMe SSD. Now, you see, I'm going to pick the half a terabyte for $32.99, like I said, because this is a budget build. Now, remember, your board has 2 slots. So what you can do is use this one here for your operating disk. But I found something else that's pretty much it's a good deal too, but let's go through them both. But and pick and get this one loaded up here for $32.99. There we go, $32.99. Let me go ahead and add it to the bucket. Now, if it was in our budget, which it ain't, for a scratch disk, this would work great. It's 2 terabytes. Is a SATA. It's a SATA 3, runs on a SATA 3 port. I know it's not as fast as NVMe ports, but for a scratch disk, it's fine, and you have room. Like I said, it's just an option. It's always something you can add on, because that MSI board has 4 SATA 3 ports on it. Now, here's another deal. This is what I would do. We're going to give you some options here. Now, this is something else that caught my eye, and I think this would work pretty good as well. Now, this is actually a very good deal for somebody starting out here. And I looked at the separate prices, and I'm like, wait a minute, this would be a smoking deal for somebody coming up with something new. What is it, Nick? Look, you get the PNY, half a terabyte, the SSD. This is the SATA 3. It's half a terabyte, the internal, solid state drive. And you can use that as your operating system disk. You won't have a, scratch disk. So I say I like scratch disk, but when I first started out, I didn't have a scratch disk. Didn't even know, didn't even contemplate such a system layout. And you get a 2 terabyte spinning drive disk, not super fast, but like I say, storage is cheap on spinning drives. And it's 2 terabytes, okay? So now you can have 2 hard drives, the PNY for your operating system, and put your program on that you're doing your editing with to get somewhat, speed. Like I said, it's not as fast as an M.2, but it's way faster spinning this HDDs. And you get them both for $77.98. It's a special. Sometimes bundles work out, sometimes not so much, but I like this one. We'll keep that one in consideration. We'll jot it down. We'll come back to it later. Let's go ahead and keep moving. And that brings us to our second hard drive. Look, for using, I would make that half a terabyte Kingston NV2. I would make that my operating system drive. For the second slot, I would seriously consider the Crucial P3. You have 1 terabyte, and here's the deal. Later on, if you can fit it in, you can get a spinning drive, a HDD, and add it as your storage drive, and then you can make your Kingston, leave it as your operating system for your OS, whether you're running Linux or Windows, or whatever you're running, that's your business. And then you can use this Crucial P3 as your scratch disk, and after you add on a a spinning drive to use for storage for your completed project, and the project's finished, then you can move it off onto your spinning disk drive. So let's go ahead and write down the $59 for the second disk, and then we'll keep going. This is the memory that I suggest. Now, granted, I know it's only 16 gigabytes. You're not gonna be knocking down no serious footage coming right out the gate anyway. You'll have 16 gigabytes of memory. You got a motherboard that has 4 slots. The first thing that I would upgrade in this system would be adding 2 more sticks of memory. Get you some memory in there. Okay, you can get the CL16. It's not bad, $39.99. CL20 for $4 more is your choice. Once it get going, that's your target right there. That's your target for the future. I'm just saying, but that's down the road. Don't jump into that pond just yet. Okay, so now we got our memory. Like I say, with 16 gigabytes, don't plan on doing a whole bunch of multitasking because you're gonna tax the system. Work smart. Don't stress your box too hard there. Okay, I know people gonna do it, but when you see the performance drop up, you're okay, let me ease up here. Don't be running 1,000 open windows in the background while you're editing a video with 16 gigabytes of memory. Don't do it. Trust me. Don't do it. So let's go ahead and get to the GPU. Normally our favorite part. Okay, back with PNY. I know, budget machine. Now, also, I was looking on Best Buy. Best Buy had a 2060 Super, 6 gigabytes of memory on it, but I think it was $40 less. So that's up to you. That's why I'm saying I don't stick just to Amazon. I look all over the place. And I think it was $30 or $40 less for a 2060 Super. Now you can go and scour the internet and look for the or Puget Systems and look and see that the speed difference between the two cards when it comes to rendering and editing video. So we'll go ahead for right now. We'll go ahead and put this one in here. I don't know what the no. Okay, we'll stay right here for 279 279. It's a 3050, and you'd be surprised on basic stuff the rendering speed gain from going from a small card, a lower end card like this, to one of the big ones on some programs is not a lot. But anyway, let's check the connectivity on here, see what we got. Okay, we got 3 DVIs and 1 HDMI. That's fine. I always tell people, if your monitor takes DVI, use it. Use it over HDMI. Not hating on HDMI. You can thank us later. You use the DVI port. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that 279 to the count and move on to our next deal. I forgot to add on the CPU, that Intel, that 12,400, it comes with a factory cooler. That should be enough because it comes from Intel. So I would use that, and then after I get a little comfortable, then I go looking for Be Quiet or Skyfuma. You can look at my other video editing rig build that I just uploaded about a week or so ago, and you can look at the air cooler choices we put up there for that. You can spend and that was a dual fan. What was it, $89? You can get a single fan down in the 40s and 50s, and it should keep an i5 pretty cool for what we're doing. Like I said, because we're not doing any type of overclocking or any of this other stuff. So let's go ahead and get to now. This system could easily be ran on 650 watt power supply, but if later on you're gonna add 2 more sticks of memory, I'm gonna dump my 3050 the first chance. I see a 3070 Ti that I like, whatever the heck. If you go now, you won't have to take the power supply out and shelf it and get another one and get 750 watts now. Wow, they're 650 watt is more than 750. I bet you it's probably all modular. It's probably modular where this one isn't. That's probably why it costs more. No, it's not. That makes no sense. Well, let me see. I'm gonna get 100 more watts, and I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna pay $11 less for it. Yatta, 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 yatta. We got it. Okay, so let's go ahead. Like I say, it's not modular, but like I say, we're trying to come. We're on a budget here. You see all your connectors there. Yeah, and what's the difference between modular and some? You have full modular, partials, and then the type here where everything comes out of one big bundle out of the back there, where the modular ones, you just plug in the connections that you need. And the partials is halfway in between there. Anyway, $70, we'll take it. Let's go ahead and add it to the list. Now, when it comes to cases, you have to remember cases is just pretty much a box to put all your stuff. Okay. Will it keep your stuff relatively cool? You got to have some decent airflow. Yeah. We like all RGB lights and pretty flashy stuff, but that doesn't help with performance. Okay. So cases run the gamut, but for this budget build, this is the one that I'm selecting right here. And it's the, I don't know how you pronounce that, Yaean tomato is a PC case. Okay, it's acrylic, mid-tower ATX. You fit ATX board, micro ATX board. Got one RGB. It comes with one fan. Okay, we got that covered. We talked about some cases, some of them being better deals than others, due with what comes in them. But this one here, tempered glass, metal, mid-tower, don't pay the gamer thing no attention. They kill me with this. Slot expansion for RAM and SSD. That goes on the motherboard. What are you talking about? Front of the case has USB 2.0, 2 ports. USB 3.0, 1 port. I wish it would have had a Type-C, but I mean, at this, when you're at this dollar amount, what can you do? But you can run that because you have that on the back of the motherboard, or if not, you can get cards are cheap. But right now, that's not a real big issue. Right now, we're trying to get us an entry level editing rig so we can go ahead and start burning up our own stuff. And when I say burning up, I'm not talking about setting your stuff on fire. But this case here, you got the mesh front panel, so you should get pretty good airflow through there. Look, because you can see straight through. I wonder if you can take that logo off the bottom. I wonder. But anyway, it's $50. What are we talking about here? Let's go ahead and add it to the list. And for case fans, now if you want to keep all blacked out, you can get this fan here with no RGB, or you can just leave RGB. You don't have to turn it on, right? You can, but plain black fans, 3 of them is $10.99, or you pay $2 more and you get RGB. Okay. And it's by a brand called Up Here. If it wasn't for J2 Cents, I never would have paid this brand any attention whatsoever. So we get 3 fans here, because remember, our case already has 1 exhaust fan in the back, and the case has a slot for a fan up top and 2 in the front. So what I would do is I would leave the exhaust fan in the back, and I would put 2 in the front and 1 up top. Or if you feel, because you probably ain't going to be generating that much heat anyway. And I think it also had the ability to have a fan in the floor in the basement. Matter of fact, let's go back and look. I could have swore I saw a spot for a basement fan. Yep, sure do. So you can put a fan in the basement as well, so you can draw in cool air from the bottom. Now don't put it on shag carpet or anything, because the only thing you're gonna do is suck up carpet lint. But if you have got it sitting on a table or something, yeah, you can put that 3rd fan in the bottom, so you get the you're gonna have positive case flow anyway. Well, you can put all 3 in front. I don't know, I think I would put 2 in front and 1 in the bottom. That's what I would do, but that's me. And I would leave the factory one in the back where it's already at. That's just me. That's me, because you're blowing up your M.2. Remember, your bottom one on the slot, once you add it, is going to be very close to here, and your your graphics card is going to be a little higher. So you probably, but it will probably benefit keeping those M.2s cooler, having it at the bottom instead of putting all three of them at the front. But I could be wrong. You could do it. Check your thermals, and then move the fan around. And plus, you're getting familiar with moving stuff around and working in your case. Now, let's go back to where we were at. Okay, so we're going to add the $12.99 to it, and then we're going to add all this stuff up. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay, let's go ahead and do this here. So let me go ahead and get, I hope y'all don't hear Tubeway Army in the background too loud. It sounds loud to me, but this microphone cancels out a lot, so y'all might not hear it. So let's go ahead and get our list where we wrote everything down and get our handy dandy calculator here. Okay, we got it. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to commence the clicking. Okay, we have the MSI B660M motherboard for $149.99. Well, I'm starting off on the wrong foot. The Intel i5 12400 with the factory box cooler for $182.99. And the Kingston NV2 half a terabyte NVMe drive for $32.99. Let's stop there on the hard drives and go to the rest, because then we can put them on at the end and see how it plays with the numbers, okay? And that's when I'm talking about the bundle or the, you know, or that the Crucial P3, okay? Let's go ahead with the memory. That was the Team Group T4 Zeus 16 gigabyte CL16, because remember the CL20 is $43.99. 20, but this ain't about. Let's go ahead and put the $39.99 in for the CL16. $39.99. Where we at? Ooh, we're already at $405. Don't worry, y'all. Don't panic. All right, the PNY GeForce 8 gigabyte card, $279.99. The power supply for $69.99. EVGA 750 watt power supply unit, $69.99. We're getting close. And the case is $49.99. The yeah. And then the $12.99 for the fans. We're at $818.92. We can go with a cheaper case. You can go with a cheaper board. Like I say, but that's right, because the board went up $10 and the memory went up $4 from the last time I done it. So $10 for that's $14. So yeah, I still would have been over. I've been over $4.92. So skip that Burger King, skip that fast food for a day, and there's your monies. But we're close to our target already. Now let's play with the number. Well, we don't even have to play with the numbers, because once you add a second hard drive, you can you'll be at $36.99 for that Crucial P3, or let's subtract the Kingston, that $32.99. Let's do that. It's still going to be over, but that brings us down to $785, and then we add the bundle, the PNY, the half a terabyte, and the 2 terabyte Seagate spinning drive. Let's go ahead and add that in, and that was, don't mind, I had to turn Grace Jones down back there. She trying to interfere with our thing, which was $77.98. So we add $77.98 to it. And that puts us at $863, but you got 2 hard drives instead of 1. So you got some leverage there. But then again, like I say, my target was $800, but things then moved up in a week. So maybe some of these things will move around, but at least you got an idea what you're getting at. This person may be like, I don't want to open it back up. I'll just get the 2 hard drives. Or, I mean, you got a glass case, the glass cover. You just take it off. You just take it off. The M.2 slot is right there in front of you. You just put the high stand in it, plug it in, and put a screw on it. That's it. Throw a cooler on it for $10. They got them. They got them here. They got them everywhere. $10, $15. If you want to get fancy schmancy, 20, but let's keep it simple. And now you got a system that pretty much your video editing, your 1080p stuff, take it easy on the 4K stuff. Make sure you're not running a whole bunch of stuff because you only got 16 gigabytes of memory. Your card is going to handle it pretty good. I say, if you're using Adobe is more CPU bound, but that Intel with onboard graphics will help speed. And that's why I picked the Intel for this build over AMD, even though I'm an AMD guy. But this isn't about me. This is about getting something for you guys here. Just some food for thought here, okay? So you got options, on the card. You could save we could have saved $40 by going with a 2060 from Best Buy. We could have saved 40. I want to say let's call it safe, $30. We could have saved $30 on that. We were at 818 before we done this. Whereas at 818, there's your $30. You go down, like I said, and then with the 2 items went up for a total of $14 in a couple of days. We would have been under $800. We would have been under $800. So tell me what you think. I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, go ahead, put it in the comment section. If I see it, I'll respond to you and give you an answer. Okay? Y'all be good and be safe. Bye-bye.